Hello, everyone. Today I'm very happy to have a special guest here. She's Tanea Gonçalves, the Executive Director for the CTRA, Canadian Therapeutic Recreation Association. Tanya has a bachelor's degree from the University of Alberta, and she was a recreation therapist with Alberta Health Services for 12 years. So let's see if she's here.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, thank you for coming, Tanya.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's a very exciting opportunity. We're
Great,
happy to be
great. Let's start talking about CTRA. What
here.
is CTRA?
Well, we are the National Therapeutic Recreation Association for Canada. We represent the professionals in the field. We represent the recreation therapists. We represent the assistants if they want to be supporting members, organizations, individuals that might want to be a part of us, and students. So we represent the various areas or the various groups.
And what about the eligibility and requirements to be a member, Tanya? There are a lot of students who has questions about that.
Okay, so to be a student member, you just have to be enrolled in a education program. And you can register as a student and actually gain quite a few perks, basically being a student for a very, very reasonable cost. If you're a provincial member, so if you're a member of TRO, you can join CTRA for $25 for the year. And you get a lot of perks with that. You get educational opportunities, you get discounts on that, you get discounts on conferences. It's a really amazing deal, as well as, you know, the webinars we offer and just the networking opportunities. As a supporting member, so let's say you're not working in the profession of TR, so you don't qualify for that professional status, you can still join us as a supporting member because you believe that the recreation therapy profession is important and you want to advocate for it, but you might not meet that professional qualification, so you can still register as a supporting member. And then we've got two professional membership categories. The first is if you are working in the field of therapeutic recreation, we ask that you have a degree or diploma in recreation therapy or therapeutic recreation or a related field. If you graduated many years ago, it might not be titled that. You need to have at least 3 therapeutic recreation courses within your transcript. And we ask, it'd be a diploma or degree program. And we want you to ensure that you're utilizing our standards of practice. So basically we have a kind of a check mark there that we want to ensure that you're following the API process is the biggest thing, so that you are doing assessments, you are doing program plans, you are doing intervention, evaluation, and documentation. So those pieces are really important. So if you are doing that, then you are would be eligible for membership. Mm-hmm. And then we have a last category. So it's a professional membership for our CTRS. So those are our certified therapeutic recreation specialists. So they're certified through the NCTRC. So they would also meet eligibility by writing that exam and meeting the credential. So I'm speaking too fast. Sorry about that.
No problem. And you had a great experience at hospital settings, right?
I actually have experience in a number of different settings. I started out in rehabilitation in the rehabilitation hospital in Edmonton. I moved to a mental health facility it was actually in Alberta. It was in the region. And then I've also had experiences with long-term care, as well as adult day support and in the community. So I have a wide range of experience and backgrounds. Within rehabilitation, I worked with older adults. I worked with children. I worked with spinal cord injury, brain injury. And we were kind of touched on a number of the areas like the orthopedics, dementia care. We had our Start Med program. So I was in a number of areas when I was in that hospital as well.
And which one do you like more, or you feel more comfortable doing? Or you think you're better?
I enjoy the experience of all of them. I think every opportunity you have, grow with it, learn from it, just go with it, take whatever you can and learn, especially when you're new to the profession. I loved working with the pediatrics. It was nice with the children, but I also loved working with brain injury and stroke clients. I did a lot of, I spent 10 years in long-term care, and I really adored my clients. They were just phenomenal. So you kind of, you take what you can and you learn, and you apply the same therapeutic recreation process, and you learn about the population you're going to be serving, and you do it well. You do your best.
Practitioners seek to improve client services. With COVID, most of TRs could not work in person, but virtual, or if in person, restrictions were applied, such as masks and social distance. One of our goals is to provide social interaction. How to overcome this barrier, Tanea? How do we connect?
Well, I think COVID has been very challenging for everybody. It has also given us opportunities to really showcase our skills, and to really how we think outside the box, and how we look at a client and their well-being, and really want to tailor our interventions with that client to increase their well-being in whatever way they need. Right? We're very client focused. So our goals are what that client needs. So that's right there. If we can showcase how we do that to our team, our interdisciplinary team, that's our managers, that's really advocating for our profession and showing what we can do. There's huge challenges, but it's amazing what recreation therapists have done throughout the country in providing interventions, and even educators who were trying to teach you guys how you can actually have a practicum, so that like virtual practicum experiences. The programs were wonderful in what they've produced. We've got Tanea, who created, she was a interim, I don't know if it's professor, I don't know the term, but basically she was teaching a group of students at the college level, and they had to create some kind of experience for students with their practicums, and they created a virtual experience program, and sought people all over to participate in that, and they developed phenomenal program protocols virtually. Like, it's a terrible situation we're in, but boy, we really have come through in thinking outside the box. If you look at just how we're offering services, even with the virtual visits, trying to do that safely, because we need to make sure our clients are kept safe, but we also want them to have those social experiences. So those virtual visits and facilitating those. And you know what? Our frontline recreation therapists have been doing such an incredible job. Like, to be able to do your service wearing all the PPE, it's very challenging. I've worked in outbreaks. I've worked when SARS was an issue, so it's hard. And I really feel for them, but they stepped it up, and they provided the services. They kept themselves safe. They kept their clients safe, and they provided those social opportunities that were required. But they also looked at the client, and if there was other ways they can do it. They created, if they could have a group program when the numbers came down, they were making sure their equipment followed protocols. So you can have a fun and fitness program. You can't use a pool noodle. Let's use something else. So they created lots of great ideas. So I think just sharing those and just continue to grow with it, and really look at those virtual, even community day programs, and how they are benefiting people who are living in their homes, and how we can offer even those services to maybe a facility who doesn't have a recreation therapist in the future. So, I can see this experience actually helping grow our profession to really showcase how amazingly skilled we are. So I hope that answered your question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think if it is some, but I think one positive thing that COVID brought, in my opinion, is the individualized leisure experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need this more than ever, meaningful activities.
Mm-hmm.
And before COVID, there were a percentage of residents from long-term care that just don't participate in the activities. And I think now they are participating more. It's my
Mm-hmm.
feeling. I don't know. And maybe it's an opportunity for us to rethink leisure in senior living.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
And
do you feel?
I,
Yeah.
I also think for everybody in the world right now, we were in a lockdown. I'm not sure how everyone experienced that, but in Ontario, we were in a lockdown for a very long time. So everybody that I speak to really looked at, when things opened up, wow, we don't need all these things, but we do need, to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. Self-care is very important. We need to make sure our families are safe. And if you can make sure those things are done, you feel good with everything else. And, those little things are just treasured now. So all
Yeah.
those experience. So participating in a facility that maybe lost their recreation services for several months, when you got them back, you're like, wow, I need to go and experience this. So that's a good thing, right? Really shows
Yeah.
our value.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you see the future of our profession? I mean, the future is here, right here.
Well, no,
By
we're
the
always
way.
growing. And I think that's really, really important to look at how we can grow and grow the profession. I was giving this a little bit of thought before our interview, and, we really need to position ourselves to where the media is pointing attention, as well as our political our politicians. So where are they seeing the need? And we need to align ourselves with those policies. So some areas, definitely with COVID response, there's funding there, there's grant opportunities. Take advantage of the fact that that is existing, and maybe create a business for it, providing virtual therapeutic recreation services for people in the community or in facilities that might not have that. There's ways to make this, to strengthen ourselves. And this could be a whole new way to provide services. We don't know how long this is going to go on, and we don't know the ramifications. So really positioning ourselves for that is really smart. And, start if, as a student, you're about to graduate, you're looking for a position, you could create your own, get a grant opportunity, tie in with like some of these private recreation therapists, see how they've done it, and model it after that. Maybe join that group. There's like a diversified leisure services in Calgary. They've got people throughout the country that provide interventions and services for clients. So tie in with that. Be really creative. Like creativity is really important right now. Be resourceful. Think outside the box. Mental health, that's another big issue right now. People are having a lot of mental health issues right now, just with the whole lockdown, with the stress. You just don't know what tomorrow will bring, especially early in the whole pandemic. Now we're looking at, we have a vaccine. How long is it going to take to roll out? There's a lot of stressors there. So people really need to look at, what can we do to help support mental health services across this country, and lots of different ways to do that. So look at that. That's going to be really big. And the other thing I was thinking of is, even just on a more generalized note, is individuals with autism. I'm not sure if people are very aware, but the government's putting a lot of money and research, not necessarily research, but money into helping provide interventions. So potentially, maybe that's, if you're interested in that area, and that's pediatrics, teenagers, adults, individuals with the autism spectrum disorder. Great opportunities right now because there's funding there. So if you can become a provider and tie in with services virtually, even, that's another opportunity. So I think that's it. Look at the opportunities. Really try to brainstorm how you can make a change for the better, and start doing it and little by little and seeing if it works. And then tie in, network, tie in with some people. So do some research, look at best practices in that area. We have communities of practice on our website that are rolling out. Mental health is one of them. We've got 5. So, join CHRA, join one of those communities of practice. They're meeting as a group. They're talking about these opportunities. So tie in with that community of practice as well. Nationally, provincially, that is also happening. So I think that there's great opportunities. I think we just need to really, again, think outside the box and go for it. What's the worst that can happen? We try it and you learn from it, right? It's always a chance to learn and grow.
Yeah. Tanya, I have seen during this pandemic a bunch of students leaving the studies. Some do financial problems, others do mental health issues, heartbreaking stories. Mm-hmm. How can we help to maintain the interest of those who continue despite this uncertain scenario? How do you?
Well, I think number one, we need to support those individuals if they do need help, talking to them about that. But I think self-care. So if we can demonstrate the importance of self-care, what do you need to have good mental health for you? For me, I need to be outside. I need to go for walks. I know what I need. Someone it's dance, someone it's family. So whatever that self-care need is, make sure you're getting it. Take care of you first. I went to a presentation once in Halifax, and that's something I've always taken away from that presentation. It was a keynote speaker we had at our conference in 2012, and I still remember it. It's like, if you're in an airplane, you put on your oxygen mask first. When you're breathing, you can help other people. But if you're not breathing, if you're not feeling good, you can't help anyone else. So you need to make sure you're number one, taking care of you, and then whoever you need to take care of within that. So if it's a family, if it's your clients, if it's you need to take a break as a student because it's just too overwhelming, then you know what? That's self-care in itself. It's recognizing that it's too much right now, and we need to look back at this. Hopefully, maybe in 6 months, 1 year, they consider coming back. I would like to see that, but if not, I hope they grow with whatever the choices that they make. I think I've lost the internet connection, or.
Someone tell me how's Tanya on the comments on the chat.
Sorry, I can hear you now. It was frozen for a bit there.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what you said. Sorry, it was frozen.
You're back.
I'm back.
Could you please say it again? Because it wasn't.
Oh,
it was frozen.
It froze. Okay. So do you want to repeat your question and I can go back to it? So I'm not sure where we got cut off.
How can we help to maintain the interest of the students who still continue despite the uncertain scenario? The students who still do.
So I talked about
self-care.
I talked about self-care and the importance of self-care. So that was okay?
Yeah, that was fine. Yeah.
Okay. So for keeping the students, I would say network, tie into your area of interest. And if you have multiple areas of interest, take an opportunity to somehow, if you can volunteer with that area of interest, be passionate about what you're doing, because if you're passionate and you really enjoy it, it's going to show. You're going to showcase your abilities. As a student, you have a lot of skills in technology that maybe us older therapists might not have, and we need your help. to really look at, maybe come up with some innovative ways to offer services. So, make yourself a little bit invaluable. Volunteer with your local chapter of your Therapeutic Recreation Association and become involved that way. Even offering, coordinating to offer a workshop off of a research project you conducted while you're a student. There's so many ways to be involved with the profession. It's just reaching out and making an ask. And if you can be creative, people will respond to it, especially if you are passionate about it. So like reach out, like as you did, Fernanda. Like this is a great way to get yourself known as well as the students, and advertise yourself to potential employers in the future. So you will be remembered, right? So as a student, I think you need to think that way as well, and have fun with it. Like you're a student, you're learning, growing, like enjoy what you're doing and get lots of experiences. That's really key. Like if you can have an experience in a rehabilitation hospital with lots of areas, great. If you can have an experience in a community setting, that's a great experience, and just take everything and learn with it. So
yeah, sometimes they just can't do things like that because of mental health, and most of them don't ask for help, which is bad. Which is really bad. And when you see it's done, right?
But as a friend, and you've seen that, you can reach out for them. So speaking with your teachers, speaking to your professors, like if you're noticing this is happening for one student, it's probably happening for another. This is a really stressful time. And people are very aware of it. And if there's any mental health challenges someone is having, people want to help. So if we can think of a way to help, we will. And there's lots of resources. People who are recreation therapists know where the resources are, so we can help that way. So reach out, talk to your professors. They will have colleagues. There's assistant services for health, and talking to a psychologist even. So there's programs we can tie you into that. So we want to support the students. We want the students to have a good experience. So so if you see that as a student, reach out to your professors, reach out to us. Maybe there's a way that we can tie into that program and offer something for them. Or maybe this is something that needs to be done across the country for students. Maybe that's a way to go. So, start out small, and maybe we can grow it across the profession or province, or even across the city, across the province, across the nation, maybe international. Maybe this is a whole new endeavor. So again, look at that and come up with an opportunity there. And if that's something that you're passionate about, that's something that you can follow through with, and, talk to various people. We have, I have a lot of ideas for people who are in the area of mental health, and tying into that community of practice, if that is an area for you, that we have going right now. So just reach out and let us know what's going on. And most people that work in our profession, it's a service industry profession. We're here to help people. We're not here to make money. We're here to offer our services. So we're looking to help.
Yeah. And speaking about international, we don't have recreation therapy in Brazil.
No.
Yeah, I think it's in 18 countries. I'm not sure if I'm right. The recreation therapy. And I think, as I told you to Rosalind from Troll, we need to promote this as much as we can. Sometimes people look at me, what are you doing? Oh, recreation therapy. Oh, cool. But yeah, it's cool, but it's a lot of work, right? And they have no idea what it is. Like, oh, recreation, just play with people, and it's not, right? It's not only that. So how can we help to promote and to reinforce the importance, because it's so important.
So you touched on several things there. So I think one item I was going to say is, from the perspective of recreation therapy potentially not being in Brazil, maybe there's a variation of it in Brazil, but it's not called recreation therapy. In New Zealand and Australia, it was called diversional therapy. That's something. So the name change. In Italy, it is there. We have an actual consortium of I think it's 8 countries right now that meet. I think it's twice a year, if not quarterly. They might be going up to quarterly. So we are on that coalition. So CTRA is on that coalition with 8 other countries that actually have recreation therapy. Most of them are by a different name other than us in North America. So potentially it might be there and we just don't know about it yet. Italy does have it. So you never know. And maybe in the future, that's a way that, or a place we can move into, I guess, there, South America. From the perspective of promoting the profession as your play therapists, well, we really need people to have a good 30-second spiel about what we do. And that's, as a student, have your spiel ready. Don't dawdle it. Just, this is what we do. There's a lot of good ones out there. You can research it, but you want to have a 30-second spiel, and then if they're interested, you can go into providing some examples about how we serve our clients and how we look at the physical, cognitive, social, emotional. We're a holistic perspective, and we're client-centered, and we're strength-based. So those are very, very key pieces of what we do. And I think, market what we do in those terms. So I hope that answered your question, or is there another one there? Did we lose you again? Not sure what happened to Fernanda. Oh,
Hi,
Tanea.
Tanya. Yeah, we had a problem with the connection.
Little technical challenges today. It's all good. That's what happens in life. You got to go with those. You got to go with it. I'm not sure we got the question answered to what you thought was good, or I'm not sure if we missed anything, or is there a portion of that question you had?
No, that's all. Yeah, we are approaching to the end. Sure. Is there something that you'd like to share with us that I didn't ask you?
I think just I've said it. What are some really good characteristics? Be really flexible. Think outside the box. Like, look at a situation, see how you and your services can benefit that situation and make that situation better. Look at it. Look for the solutions, and offer what you can do to be the solution. Work with your interdisciplinary team so they are aware of what you do and how you do it so well. And, as soon as those doctors really start taking notice of what you do, you're going to be contacted a lot because, we have a need there. The community therapeutic recreation services, I think that's a really great growth area for us, and we're seeing funding in those areas being given out in Alberta, and I'd like to see it. I think Ontario's had it for quite a while. It'd be great to have it across the country, private or within a health region. Look at advocating for the profession, like in your smaller circle, and then work your way out. So, start within the university or within your facility, and then move out to municipally. Look at your chapters, and is there a way you can connect and grow that way and help that organization out? Look at maybe next your provincial contributions. Is there something you can do when you're in Ontario and working with TRO? After that, you might want to say, oh, you know what? I really love certification. And that's where I started. And the whole, what the professional qualification is. And I looked at going to become the certification director way back when. Well, you know what that did? That brought me to get my master's degree out at Dalhousie University. So, you know what? You just never know where you can grow and go with this profession. Now I'm the executive director of CTRA, so that's pretty phenomenal. And I get to meet with the various groups on an international basis, which is pretty cool. So my passion is to grow the profession of therapeutic recreation. I found a way to do that. And I think as a student, look where your passion is, look where you want to go, reach out, send me an email, send my board an email. We're always happy to connect you with who might help, and maybe there's an issue, or maybe you just want to chat or reach out and connect and attend those conferences. Like as a student, volunteer. Attend a conference for free by volunteering. If you can't be on a face-to-face one, there's virtual conferences happening. Help out with those planning committees. We've got one happening in the spring. So take those opportunities to connect with therapists by volunteering. That's what I did way back when. And where I'm actually doing pretty good, I think, in my experiences. But I'm always looking at how an opportunity can help me grow. And I love to learn. So that's me. So.
Thank you so much, Tanea. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, and I wish you really well in your studies and for 2021. If you have anything, or if a co-student or another student has anything, please reach out. You can find my contact information on the website.
Great. Thank you, Tanea.
Take care.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you next week.